Communication during the Cold War. During the Cold War, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were often attributed to ideology and political differences between the two countries. However, there is a theory that suggests that much of the tension and misunderstandings were due to a lack of effective communication between the leaders of both countries. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our updates. The theory of poor communication suggests that during the Cold War, the leaders of the United States and the Soviet Union often did not understand each other's motivations and perceptions, which led to misunderstandings and unnecessary crises. One of the most notable examples of this poor communication was the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. During the missile crisis, the Soviet Union installed nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from the coast of the United States. U.S. President John F. Kennedy ordered a naval blockade of Cuba to prevent the Soviet Union from transporting more missiles to the island. During the crisis, communication between the leaders of both countries was ineffective and, in some cases, completely erroneous. For example, the Soviet Union sent a telegram to President Kennedy stating that the missiles in Cuba were defensive and had been installed to protect Cuba from aggression. However, in reality, the missiles had offensive capability and could reach much of the United States. This misunderstanding and lack of effective communication contributed to increasing tension between the two countries and brought the world closest to nuclear war in history. Another example of poor communication during the Cold War was the Soviet Union's belief that the United States was planning a preemptive nuclear attack against them. This belief was largely based on misunderstandings and rumors and led the Soviet Union to increase its own nuclear arsenal as a defensive measure. This increase in the arms race only served to increase tensions between the two countries and increase the risk of a nuclear conflict. In summary, poor communication was an important factor in the tensions during the Cold War. The leaders of the United States and the Soviet Union often did not understand each other's motivations and perceptions, which led to misunderstandings and unnecessary crises. The lesson that can be learned from the Cold War is that effective communication and mutual understanding are essential to prevent unnecessary and dangerous conflicts.